Peace, neighbors, friends, family. I am Leonidas Hamza, your host of Superposed Broadcasting. I was wondering how I would start this an herb a week. In my video, I did say an herb a day, but an herb a day is a lot of work. So, an herb a week between Friday and Saturday is when that will be sent out. Anyways, I wondered how I would start this or where I would start. And sometimes you just gotta listen to or watch what nature is trying to tell you or teach you. And what happened for me is that, well, yesterday I had a job for Conscious Home Solutions, and this job required me to paint a facility here in where I live. And I did something a little different, which is I painted over a lot of blemishes and so on. I knew the place had some moisture damage. I could see it in the wall. However, sometimes you just have to do what you were told to do. And I did exactly that. So I did as I was told to do, and as I was there, I went ahead and inspected the basement because I was asked to do something in the basement regarding lighting. I wasn't required to do that yesterday, but I wanted to know what I was getting myself into. I went to the basement and realized that there was an extreme amount of moisture. The sump pump is on, and it's just kicking water out like every 15 to 20 minutes or so. The rafters are covered in moisture, all the conduit covered in moisture. And I start looking around, going deeper into the basement, and then all of a sudden I see this white fuzzy, mold coming down from the ceiling. None of us do well with mold. Okay, I especially do not do good with mold. It affects me quick, and it affected me quickly yesterday. But with the mold of such nature, being as, well, it indicated that the rafters were decaying. It was wood decay from all the moisture. So therefore it was a thick, white, fuzzy mold. I don't remember the name of it, but there's a specific name for it, and really it's giving off, without even being disturbed, being touched, it's giving off hundreds of thousands of spores into the atmosphere. And of course I'm breathing that in. Well, I will say this, being a painter, any kind of professional painter, they have one of the worst jobs because paint is very toxic, has a lot of fumes, and it is bad for the lower and upper respiratory system. So painters in general should be taking Molin, excellent respiratory herb. I normally say as an herbalist, you're not supposed to look at herbs, you're supposed to look at your nutrition, but in this case, when you're taking in fumes into your respiratory system, in this case, you should be taking a preventive measure because of the fumes. They're toxic. And then in my situation, I open up the door in the front and the back, put in a fan. Even so, what this did is it oxygen feeds life. Okay, oxygen is life, and so what this does is it blows the mold spores around. Even though it's in the basement, the high dense mold, it still affects as below, so above. Essentially, we can look at this in an esoteric way, but it affects what's going on above. Okay, so I'm sitting there after I drink my coffee, I'm painting, I feel really dizzy and my heart's racing already. part of it's from drinking a stimulant, of course, but coffee doesn't do that to me. And I started to feel my mucous membrane started to become lax. I started to have a lot of mucus come up through my nostrils. I started to have a lot of mucus in my throat. And so I had to do a lot of spitting, a lot of blowing my nose. And what this was my body. I was breathing in mold spores. And so now I was beginning to have high histamine. My mucosal membranes were kicking into action. Your mucosal membranes they kick into action to grab onto different airborne illnesses and other things throughout the body as well. But in this case, airborne illnesses or mold spores. So they don't go into the body, because mold spores, they go into the body and they grow. 90% of people have mold overgrowth in the body, or what is known as candida yeast overgrowth, but mold. And so my body was trying to kick all this out. And by the end of the day yesterday, my head started hurting. I was congested. And I'm sitting there laying in bed at 10 o'clock. What do I do? And I'm just thinking about it. Well, for starters, I need to go ahead and I need to relax. I need to sleep. So I went ahead and took 3 capsules of magnesium glycinate or glycinate, and that will go ahead and help me relax my muscles, my smooth muscles, and allowing me to fall into a deeper sleep. But with that, I took 2 dropperfuls of nettle leaf. You have nettle root and nettle leaf. Nettle root has different energetic actions, as does nettle leaf. So nettle leaf essentially has constituents in it that are good for histamine. So I took nettle leaf and to bring down the histamines. And that is something that I wanted to leave here that many people could do if they ever have any kind of exposure to mold like I did. I'm going to leave it at that, and we can dive deeper into it. If you have any questions, leave questions. Please like, please share. Let me know if there's anything I can do to go further into this. I just have to go. I just wanted to make this really quick. I thought it would be a good idea. Peace out. Leonidas Hamza, your family herbalist. Have a good day, friends, family, neighbors.